Okay, what is the rule in case of loss or deterioration of the object of the contract of sale? Based on the principle of res perit domino, to the owner of the thing bears the risk of loss, the concept that owner bears the risk of loss, and deterioration because ownership is not transferred until delivery. So rule on risk of loss and deterioration. Before perfection, who is the owner? Walang problema. Ano? Before perfection, si seller may-ari. Seller bears the risk of loss. Okay? At the time of perfection, but before delivery, at the time of perfection, nawala yung object, of course, the contract is void, no? Non-existent of object or inexistence of the object. At the time of sale, or perfection of sale, if entirely lost, again, contract is void. If partially lost, pwedeng at the election by the vendee may elect between withdrawing or demanding the remaining part. Ang problema lang is, after perfection, but before delivery. Kasi sabi natin, delivery transfers ownership since owner bears the risk of loss. After perfection, but before delivery, since the possession is retained by the seller and the delivery is not yet transferred to the buyer, seller still the owner, the risk of loss is still with the seller. Okay? After delivery, walang problema, no? Walang problema. Deliver na kay buyer, buyer is in possession of the object, buyer is now the owner, buyer bears the risk. Unless delivery was delayed through the fault of either parties, the risk is with the party in fault. And when the ownership of the goods has been retained by the seller. Okay. Pero, sa contract to sell, for me, no? After delivery contract to sell, okay. For me, the buyer bears the risk of loss. Why? Even if the seller retains ownership, di ba sa contract of sell, deliver object but the ownership is retained by the seller, the purpose of retention of the ownership is actually merely on the full payment of the purchase price. But the buyer has already control of the object and thus the risk should be with the buyer. Okay, after delivery, contract to sell, even if the ownership is retained by the seller, who bears the risk of loss, in my opinion, and this is good, this will be followed by the class, the buyer bears the risk of loss. Okay.